Is Jamaica's Stephen Francis the best track and field coach in the world? Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Now please hit that subscribe button so we can continue to grow, people. We have a personal goal of 10,000 subs and we're almost there, and it's simply because of people like you supporting the channel. Also, if you like our content, hit the like button. It's perfectly free. The algorithms love it and it helps to push the content out. Remember, one more time, people, it's perfectly free. Hit that like button. And also, please leave a comment. I learn so much. Sometimes I don't agree, but I still read and I still learn. All right, are you ready to deal with this topic? Are you ready? Yep, good to go. Now, before many of you start screaming the name Glenn Mills at me, this is no disrespect to the great Glenn Mills, but maybe I should quantify the question. You see, we're talking about right now. Right now, is Coach Stephen Francis of Jamaica the best track and field coach in the world? Right now, in October of 2021, is he? Okay? So before the Glenn Mills fans come at me, we're not trying to disrespect the boss Glenn Mills, but right now, we're talking about Coach Stephen Francis. Coach Stephen Francis is arguably one of the most dominant figures in present-day track and field. His name is so respected and revered that the truth is, most of us who are fans of track and field, and many of the pundits and the specialists will tell you that if Coach Stephen Francis says yes about an athlete, we pay attention. The founding member of the MVP Track Club, which they started in 1999, I believe, at the Women's Boys School. Himself, David Noel, Paul Francis, and of course, Bruce James. The idea behind the track club was very basic. A lot of Jamaicans' track talent was leaving and going overseas to take up scholarships with luminary, with well-known track universities across the globe, and they were not doing well. They were not the transition from athlete into pro athlete was not going very well, and so the idea came about of keeping these amazing young talents here in Jamaica, grooming them and watching them grow. The other thing that was important about MVP and Coach Stephen Francis is that they were not necessarily looking at athletes who did brilliantly in the boys and girls ISA's champs, one of the biggest indicators of talent in Jamaica. Coach Stephen Francis had a very controversial perspective of becoming successful as a track and field athlete.
They must be forced to understand that the road to success is largely uncomfortable.
Coach Francis's philosophy was basically aimed at pushing the athlete to their very, very limit. And though some may think this is controversial, the fact is, one cannot argue with his success rate. Bridget Hilton was one of the first athletes who broke through on the international stage out of the MVP and Coach Stephen Francis camp. Up to the age of 37, Bridget Hilton was the most dominant female 100-meter hurdler in Jamaica, running remarkable times like what you just saw, 12.49. People, she was 37 years of age. And there is no doubt that outside of her raw talent, Coach Stephen Francis had a lot to do with it. In fact, she became the first Jamaican female to win a medal in the World Athletic Championships. Let me quantify, a gold medal in the World Athletic Championships in 2009 in Berlin. VC, a Jamaican artist, have a song which says, "By his deeds shall a man be known." At age 37, she was still winning races. Then, of course, there's the sub 10 king himself, Asafa Powell. Asafa Powell broke the world record at least 2 times that I know of. Here, he ran 9.77, breaking the world record at the time. This, of course, was at the Olympic Stadium in Athens, Greece, in 2005 when he was the age of 22. Powell went on in 2007 to break the world record once again, his own, the one he established, of 9.77. He once again broke the world record, running a phenomenal 9.74. This time at the age of 24, he broke the record at the IAAF Grand Prix in Reate, Italy. Powell also holds the 100-yard world record of 9.07, which he broke in Ostrov in 2010. And of course, we all know that he's called the sub-10 king. And here's the reason why. Asafa Powell at age 38 owns the record of 97 career sub-10 100-meter performances. The last coming on September the 1st, 2016. He did not make the 100-meter final at the Jamaican Championship in 2017 or 2019. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is very straightforward. Bridget Foster Hilton and, of course, Asafa Powell were under the mentorship of the great coach Stephen Francis. Many of you may not remember, but it was Asafa Powell, after a long drought with the male sprinters, who brought back the world's attention to Jamaica's 100 and 200 meter sprinting prowess amongst our men. Again, under the tutelage of the great coach Stephen Francis. But there are many, many more, many other athletes who have passed through the hands of this phenomenal coach. Now, they have not all stayed. And I know that that may sound strange, and some people actually believe that the fact that some athletes don't stay, it may be something regarding his coaching style, etc. But I think Coach Stephen Francis said it best in a recent interview as to why an athlete may or may not stay with him.
Those of you who follow football or basketball or whatever, people change all the while. Either the teams fire them or they leave in search of what they think are greener pastures. And I assume that the same thing is going to happen here. I mean, we have had well over 20 individuals who have had medals, and the reason why we have had so much is that people...
He's absolutely right. I mean, people will leave and move on to what they believe are greener pastures. It has nothing to do with him not being a great coach. And the fact is, whether or not these people have passed through his hands. Next up, of course, is the great Shelley-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the world's second fastest woman. A woman who has, I think it's 11 World Championship medals and 8 Olympic medals, including 3 gold medals. I mean, that's just phenomenal. Also, only just recently left the MVP track club and coach Stephen Francis, training. This happened in March or April of 2020 when she left. But truly one of the most accomplished personas in the history of track and field. And I think perhaps the second greatest, you know what, let me not even get into that, because that's a whole other argument. Certainly one of the greatest female athletes of all time. Her record stands for itself. But trained by Stephen Francis for most of her career, just up until a year ago. So you cannot say that Coach Stephen Francis has nothing to do with the fact that recently she ran her fastest time at the age of 34, running 10.60 at the Diamond League, running 10.63 earlier this year. Then, of course, there is the world's fastest woman, the woman who had the greatest season in history, the history of sprints, by a female athlete, the one and only Elaine Thompson-Herah, who, as you know, rose to prominence, and some may argue with me, but okay, let me put it to you this way. The first time the majority of the world knew who she was, and saw her as a legitimate challenge to the title of greatest female sprinter on earth was here in 2016 at the National Championships in Jamaica. I'm not saying that she wasn't on the world stage before, but this is when the rest of the world really took notice of her. So let's just get that out of the way, all right? That's what I mean when I say that. And of course, you all know that at this time, herself, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and several others were all training together at the MVP track club. In fact, Coach Stephen Francis, in a recent interview, actually stated that the reason why she left had nothing to do with his coaching, but apparently some personal rift started between herself and Elaine Thompson-Herah, when clearly at one point they were very close. For a coach to have touched athletes like this, I mean, come on, people. And I can keep going, you know. Let me give you a simple example of what I mean when I say that he has impacted the lives of so many other athletes. I mean, it's too numerous to even mention. Nesta Carter, who I think is the 4th or 5th fastest male Jamaican athlete in the 100 meters of all time. Megan Tapper, who's now being coached by her husband, but that for quite some time was being coached by Stephen Francis at the MVP track club. Of course, Megan Tapper, they're phenomenal. Just recently became the first Jamaican woman to win a medal at the finals of the Olympics, which was in Tokyo 2020, winning a bronze medal in the women's 100-meter hurdles finals. Then, of course, there is young Tajay, that is Tajay Gale, the first Jamaican to win a gold medal in the World Championships, the first Jamaican male to win a gold medal in the World Championships long jump, and who Coach Stephen Francis has stated he thinks will become the fastest sprinter, male sprinter in Jamaica in 2022. By the way, I'm going to leave the link for that video. I just left it. People are loving it. You guys are loving it. I'm going to leave a link for it in the pinned comments. Go check it out. It's really, really good. And it was a lot of fun. What I'm saying is that this man has touched so many athletes. Words, you know, I mean, Elaine Thompson-Herah, come on. What more can I say? The first woman to win the double-double in the Olympics. Meaning 2016, she won the gold in both the 100 and 200 meters, came back and did the same thing in 2021 for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. And what was remarkable is that in so doing, she ran 10.53 in the 200 meters, one of the fastest times of all. And she broke Flo Jo's 30-odd-year-old Olympic record and brought it down to 10.61. I'm sorry. I meant she, in the 200 meter, I meant she ran 20.53. If she had run 10.53, she'd be fast like the flash. And of course, we all know what happened with her in Eugene, Oregon, when she was pitted against that young lady from America and ran a phenomenal 10.54, becoming the fastest woman living today. Of course, some people say the fastest woman of all time because, you know, some people question Flo Jo's record, but let's not have that conversation. In fact, I mean, outside of Thompson-Herah, Asafa Powell, Foster Hilton, Fraser-Pryce, Melanie Walker, Spencer, Nesta Carter, Michael Frater, Sharon Simpson, Ronald Levy. I can just keep going on, people. This man has really the Midas touch. And all these athletes are extremely successful. Not to mention the fact that he has recently coached the 2 fastest women on the planet, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce and Elaine Thompson-Herah. And like I said, Fraser-Pryce only left like a year ago. And Elaine Thompson left like a week ago. So when I look at this record, I can't think of any other athlete living today, well, any other track coach in this year of 2021 who has had this kind of success in recent years. So I'm not knocking Glenn Mills and others. I'm just saying, as of 2021, who do you know is better as a track and field coach? Just look at the slew of talent. World record holders, gold medalists, world championship holders. I mean, 2 women who have won so many accolades. It's unreal. For me, I mean, I don't know about for you, But at this point, in October of 2021, yeah, Stephen Francis is the world's Jamaica. Stephen Francis of Jamaica is the world's best top track and field coach right now. I really don't see. I mean, if you have someone else in mind, I would love to know who they are. Like I said, I'm not knocking the great Glenn Mills, but I'm talking about right now. We know about the phenomenal Usain Bolt, etc., etc. But I'm talking about right now. In the last 3 years, which other coach anywhere on the planet? You name the country: Australia, Kenya, United States, Canada. Where? Just name the coach. No one. This man's record is phenomenal. So I know this is going to stir up a lot of you. Like I said, we don't always have to agree, but I really believe at this point in time, over the last 3 years, Coach Stephen Francis out of Jamaica of MVP Track Club is the best coach in terms of just sheer volume and decoration in the world as we speak. The best track and field coach. I mean, his win to lose ratio is unreal. And like I said, the 2 fastest women on the planet. And at least one of the fastest men who has ever lived, Asafa Powell. Plus Megan, all these other people. And look, he may not be training these people right now, but all of these people were touched by this man for years. For years. So his success rate is phenomenal. So yeah, people, I unequivocally believe that right now, in 2021 and leading into the 2022 season, and I'd say in the 2020, there was, and in 2019, way back as to 2016, this man is the top track and field and most successful track and field coach in the world, this Jamaica. Taking nothing away from the phenomenal Ben Mills and many others. But right now, at this moment in time, name someone else who's better. Of course, I would love to hear your thoughts. I mean, I could keep going, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think that Jamaica's Stephen Francis is the world's best track and field coach? I'd love to know your thoughts. Please remember, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We really would love your support. It means a lot to us. We are growing phenomenally fast, and it's because of you. Also, please remember to hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Hit that button. The algorithms love it. It pushes out the content. It's very, very important, that interaction. And it's free. It's free. Just hit the like button, people. And please leave a comment. I mean, I'm certain I'm going to hear all kind of comments about this particular thing. And I'm going to respect them and read them. Some I'm going to agree with, some I'm not going to agree with. But it's about the free exchange of wisdom and knowledge. And as always, what may I always say? Bless up. Yeah.